Hi, I'm Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is the handover of the Chausson Titanium Premium 777 GA. So as we start, we'll walk around on the driver's side of the vehicle first. You'll notice that there's an awning on this. This customer has paid extra for an awning as they don't come standard with an awning. So there's bits and pieces on here that are additional accessories. You've got your awning light and your fridge vents. Your toilet. So to use your toilet, on the keys, there is this key here. This does all the outside locks, ensuring that the blade on the bottom bowl of the toilet is closed, because if it was in the open position you'll not be able to lift it out. You'll be able to lift and slide. You've then got some wheels so you can drag it to your waste disposal point, which is normally behind or beside your toilet block on site. And then to empty, removing the grey cap and pushing the orange button at the back, you can tip it out. Once you've tipped it out, if you put some water in, put the cap back on and give it a rinse and tip back out again, just to rinse the cassette out. Then if you're using the liquid form of chemical, so either the blue or the green, you've got a 120ml cap here, so you'd fill it with the chemical and push it into here. If you were using the tablets, which are the new form, you put the cassette in completely dry, open the blade on the toilet, flush about a pint of water into the cassette, and then followed by a tablet which is in the cellophane format into here, which is either the blue or the green. But when booking your sites, they'll tell you what chemical they prefer you to use. A lot of sites now want you to use the green rather than the blue, as it's more environmentally friendly. Coming further back, you've got your external gas point. So you'd need a spigot to go in here, and some gas hosing and a Jubilee clip to connect it to your Cadillac or external awning heater or barbecue, and that will run off the main bottles on board, which are behind with, which I'll get onto in a moment. And then underneath, behind the back driver's wheel on the driver's side, you've got your waste outlet. So this is anything that goes down a plug hole, goes into a holding tank, and you'd want to drive over the motorhome service bay on the way out of your site, pull the handle and drain it off like so. It's also very important in the winter that you drain this tank off, as you wouldn't want the water to freeze in the tank underneath the vehicle, as it could crack the tank and the pipes surrounding it. LPG, so liquid petroleum gas, and in here you can fit your gas bottle. So this is our test bottle, 1 6kg gas bottle in there. You'd use the straps behind to tie the bottle in. To connect the pigtail to the bottle, it's left hand thread. Then you need a gas spanner or an adjustable wrench to nip up and then turn the bottle off when you're travelling, turn it on when you arrive on site, just in case you are involved in any accidents. If the bottle's off, it's far more safer than having the bottle on when in transit. The back, so in your garage area, you've got a light here, so you need the main control panel on for this to work. And then you've got your carpets, your carb mats, your hookah blade, your fire extinguisher, your shower hose, your torn eye, various bits and pieces, silver screens for the outside. So it does have Remus carb blinds on, which are good for taking up less space, but they're brilliant for keeping the heat in and deflecting the heat in the winter. 12 volt, 240, and you've got your heated garage by the diesel heater, so there's a vent there. And then behind here is where your boiler lives. The boiler holds 10 litres of water at any one time. In the winter months, it's very important that you drain it down when not using it, as you wouldn't want the water container and the boiler to freeze with that 10 litres, because it will crack the boiler, and it's not covered under warranty, as it's your responsibility to drain the vehicle off. And to do so, you've got an anti-frost valve here, so at 3 degrees this will automatically drop the water, but don't rely on it, because if it ever becomes faulty over the years, you don't want to rely on this and then find that your boiler is broken. So when the button's pushed in, it's holding the 10 litres of water. There's a diamond on the top, a blue one. If you turned it, the button will pop out and 10 litres of water will drain directly out underneath the chassis. Leave that in the open position during the time you've got the vehicle stood up and not using it. Open all the taps within the vehicle. Remove the shower head from the shower hose and lie that in the shower tray to stop any water from building up in the pipework. And ensuring that all the taps are open will stop any airlocks in the system and stop any water from housing in the pipes behind it and potentially freezing and cracking pipes. So always remember, turn the diamond, the button will pop out, leave it open until you come to reuse it, then turn it, push the button in, shut all the taps within the vehicle, fill with fresh water, go in, put the pump on, go to the cold side of the tap first. You'll get automatic cold water. Go to the hot side, it'll cough, splutter, because it's transferring the water from the main tank to the boiler, pushing all the air out the boiler via the taps until you get a pressurised flow on one tap. Do them all, and then the system is primed for the season. On the back panel, you've got your high level brake light and reverse camera. And then should you get a bike rack fitted, this is where the back panel has been strengthened with these bars to fit a bike rack. And then on the bottom, if you ever wanted parking sensors fitted, you've got these dots here, so it gives a factory finish look when you've got your white sensors put on the back. Same door for the garage on the passenger side, and then you've got your vent for your heater and boiler. External shower point, with it being a titanium premium, it gets the external shower point. So this is a cold water feed shower. Pop that in there. So there's a little nib on the hose that goes into the nib. Collar clips back, and then with the pump on, you'll be able to use the pressurized flow, but the pump's not on at the moment. But that is only cold water, so it's good for the dogs or the kids or the bikes if you've been on the beach or if you're muddy. In here, this locker is called your Technibox locker. So this houses the electric unit and your water. So to fill with fresh water, this is how we would fill, by getting a hose pipe into there and filling the tank, which is on board. You can see how much water's in, but you can also see on the control panel how much water's in the tank at any one time. This lever here drains the tank off from 100% and leaves 20% in the tank. So it's your travel drain, this is called. And what you need to do is lift it up, go in, put the pump on, open the tap, and it'll spew the water out underneath the van until it leaves 20 litres at the bottom, which means that you're going to be lighter in weight, so you're going to be better on diesel, and you're going to have a little bit more of a payload to put more items on board instead of carrying a full tank of fresh water. To take it down from the last 20 litres, or to take it down fully without using that, underneath the vehicle there's a 15mm compression fitting, which is just this one here. So with a little blue pipe, you just pull that off and that'll drain off all the fresh water in the tank. So if you're winterizing, you'll want to take all the water out to stop it freezing, or if you've taken on contaminated water or you're simply not using the vehicle for a while, just pull that bung off the end of the pipe and that'll drain off all the water in the freshwater tank. Across from it, you have all your trips on mains electric and all your fuses, so it would be a good idea to carry some spare blade fuses with you, and you can replenish any one that has blown. And then you've got your mains connectivity point for your hooker blade. So push the blue lever down to unhook, and then to hook up, lift the collar, hook the vehicle up first, then your sight, and obviously do it in reverse when unhooking the vehicle, so you're not walking around with a live lead. At the passenger door, you've got your diesel filler, which is a capless system, so you don't need to take the cap off, just put the diesel nozzle straight into the vehicle and it'll fill with diesel fuel. And then below, because it's a new styled diesel engine and it complies with the standard set, it's got the AdBlue. So this is a 20-litre tank, so should you get the warning light, which will give you about 1,000-mile countdown on a Ford, you'd want to top it up as soon as possible. You can buy it on the pump where you buy your diesel from, or you can buy it in the drums and just top it up. Top it up as soon as possible, otherwise the vehicle could go into limp mode, which is a 50-mile-an-hour restriction on the engine, just to stop it from damaging itself. And if it goes completely dry of AdBlue, it'll just, and the range runs out, it'll simply not start, and you would need Ford to come out to restart your vehicle. Leisure battery lives underneath this seat, and then behind it is where you'll find your tyre inflation kit. So you've got your compressor and your gunk there for your tyres, so your fix and go kit. Engine battery underneath the floor of the cab seat, driver's seat. And then going round to the bonnet, so the bonnet opens with the key, with it being a Ford. So you pop your key in, turn to the left, turn to pop it, to release the bonnet, turn to the right. Fluids this side, so you've got your screen wash, oil dipstick, brake fluid, coolant, and then to jump start you'd earth off the engine hoist, which is this loop here, and then underneath here you've got your positive for giving or receiving a jump start. Your weight plate's on the front, so this vehicle is 3.5 tonne. It's showing a 3.5 tonne train weight. The Ford automatics can tow 750 kilograms max, but to get a tow bar fitted to a Chausson, you must come through a Chausson agent, as the tow bar needs to comply with Chausson's warranty, and the only way to do that is to buy it off a Chausson dealer and get it fitted by them, and then they'll change this weight plate to give you a tone weight so you're road legal. Otherwise, if you did go and get it fitted elsewhere, you're not road legal, and you could get severely punished for having a tow bar on and towing with no tone weight. At the bottom you'll notice you've got a build number, so if you ever need parts, the build number is in the bottom right hand corner of this plate. So inside the vehicle, this is your main 12-volt control panel. So if you get this light on here, it means you're receiving mains hookup and you've got two 40-volt. If you didn't, you would just have the power that's in your leisure battery, which will just be 12 volts, so no 3-pin plugs and 240 appliances will work unless you are hooked up. So your master switch is here, so you turn the vehicle off and on, and then next to it you have the master switch for your lights, which are all then individually switched around the vehicle. One that looks like the tap is your pump, so you must have this on to pressurize water to the shower, the external shower, the kitchen sink, the hand basin and toilet. Otherwise you'll just get whatever's in the line and it'll soon fade away. One at the end in the right hand corner is your awning light, so this is the light outside the vehicle. And then these here correspond to these at the bottom. So you've got the one that looks like the trailer, which is your leisure battery reading. You've got the one that looks like the truck, which is your Ford battery reading. And then you've got your water level, which is your fresh water level here. If that was to go red, it's telling you it's time to refill the fresh water. And if the one below flashes red, it's time to empty the grey waste. Next to the control panel is your heating and hot water panel, which is a Truma digital CP control panel. So to turn it on and off, you just press and hold here, and then this is like standby, so to get into the menu you'd press enter and the screen will go white, and you'll have a motorhome in the top left hand corner flashing with a thermometer in it. So starting off with this one, this is the temperature of the interior of the motorhome. So you can have it all the way to 30 degrees or all the way down to off, depending on what temperature you want. So at the moment we'll say 30 degrees, and then you press enter to preset the thermostat at 30 degrees. So that's how hot the vehicle will get. Moving along, you've got the water in the thermometer. So this is your hot water. So if you've got your boiler open, don't have the water on, or if you've got no water on board, you wouldn't heat any water, because it would be like boiling a kettle without any water in. You'd burn the element out. So you've got off, eco, which is 40 degrees of heating your water, hot, which is 60 degrees of heating the water, or boost, which will turn off the heating and prioritize the water first. So for this we'll just say hot, which is 60 degrees of heating your water. And then the next source is what source you want the heating to in hot water to heat off. So you've got on this one, so this is a Truma 6D, which stands for diesel, so there's no gas. So you've got diesel, which you'd use if you're wild camping. You've got mixed 1, which is 1 kilowatt of electric and diesel. You've got mix 2, which is 2 kilowatts of electric and diesel. So you'd use this if you're away in the cold and you wanted to boost your hot water or boost your temperature of the motorhome as you're away in the winter, take the chill off. You've got electric on 1 kilowatt, which you'd use on smaller CL sites, or electric on 2 kilowatts, which you'd use on more sites throughout the UK. So depending on what current the site gives you, it would be determined whether you use 1 or 2 kilowatts of electric. So for this we'll just say mix 2 and use diesel and 2 kilowatts of electric together, which will get the vehicle and the water to temperature in no time. In the top right you've got the fans, so you can have it on eco or high. High you'll hear the fans more, eco they're a little bit quieter and take a smaller feed of 12 volt. So if you were wanting to sleep with the heating on, sleep with it on eco, the fan, instead of high, as it'll not be as loud. In the bottom left you've got a timer, so you can time the heating to come on and off. Got the time for the main display panel. Then should you get a warning triangle in the middle, you can go to the spanner, go to reset, press enter, it'll come up preset, press enter again, then you'll have to go in and reset everything again. And then to turn off you just press and hold. In the kitchen area you've got 2 gas rings, 1 electric hot plate, which is this one here, which will only work when on mains hookup, and it'll indicate with the red light that it's on. Otherwise you would have your 2 gas, which are lit there, and then below you have your oven and grill. But before you put the lid down, ensure that this is all cold, otherwise you can smash the glass with the heat. So underneath here you've got your oven, and above you've got the grill. Got storage in here, cutlery drawer, and then you've got 2 USB points, the switch for the electric drop down bed, which I'll get onto further on in the video, and you've got a mains plug. Got a little rocker switch on the end of here, which does the light on the ceiling when the bed's down for the people that are sleeping up in the drop down bed. Storage, little light here, so you've got a little black tip there that you just push for the lights to work, and then for all this lights and the blue lights you'll find 2 rocker switches next to the heating panel. So one does all of this, the other one does the little blue lights, which are your nighttime lights. Across from the kitchen you have your slimline fridge freezer with freezer box, and then all the controls is from the top, so you turn on and off via this button here. When it's got the blue light on, it's on, so you'd click it. It'll tell you what source you're on. So A stands for automatic energy selection, So the brain of the fridge will pick out what best sauce it has on offer, and it's gone to the hookup. If I was to take the hookup out now, it would go to the gas, because we've got gas on board. And if I was to start the engine, it would go to the 12 volt setting, which is designed to keep the fridge at the temperature it was previously set at. So you'd have to pre-chill it at home, or if you're moving from site to site, then your shopping will stay nice and fresh. If it's on the battery, which will automatically put it onto that. If you did want to manually override it, you can press the square button here. So it'll go to hook up there on its own, battery on its own, code 6 has come up and the light's gone red, which indicates that there's a fault. That's because the engine is not running at present. Click again, you can go to the gas and it'll self-ignite. Note that on automatic, if you leave your gas bottle open and you've turned off the engine, it can't find 12 volt anymore. It can't find hookup because you'll not be hooked up, but it will find gas. It's automatically programmed to wait 20 minutes before lighting on gas. So regardless if you turn your engine off and you're wild camping, it won't light on gas for 20 minutes unless you manually put it onto gas, which is turning the A off and pressing until you go to the gas flame like it is now. Temperature this side, so you may want to turn it down slightly when on, but when pre-chilling you probably want to put it on full to get the fridge down to temperature before you put the shopping in, and then you would knock it down a bar or so. And then when winterizing, you want to take everything out of the fridge, clean it out, and then the last thing you want to do is shut the door, as it forms an airtight seal with the rubber. So if you pull this little blue clip out, rest the door against it, the door then won't shut, and it'll ensure that air circulates in and out, and it'll stop any mold and bacteria growing in the fridge freezer. So in the cupboard, this is another extra that this customer has had fitted. They don't come standard with a satellite system on the vehicle or a TV aerial. That's something you have to opt when speccing your vehicle through the dealership. So this has got the Oyster satellite system on. So to put the dish up and down, you'd use this button at the end here, which will, if you just press it, so it'll say that it's on Astro 2, and if you wanted to change the satellite, you'd use back and forth and then press enter on the end. So it'll say retracting. Once the dish has gone down, you can then put it up, but there is a safety feature, so when you start the engine and you forget about it, it'll automatically retract the dish on the roof. It's retracting the dish now as it was up. Once it's gone down, you can press the button and put the dish back up. And then you have your free view box here, so you must turn this on so you get the green light instead of the red light, and that'll find all your channels, and it'll also put the dish up. So just press this button here and the dish will go up, press that button there and the dish will come down. Buttons in the middle will change the satellite if you go further afield into France, Spain, Portugal, and you would be picking up different satellites. And then enter, and then as you can see, the TV's come on. So this is an Avtex telly, again an extra the customers had fitted by us. Pressing source, you can see it's on satellite TV. And then you shouldn't really need to tune it, but if you did need to tune it, you would just press menu, which is this one here, go down to the one that looks like the satellite, scroll down to transponder and just search, and that'll do an auto search and find as many channels as it can in your area. You do have a DVD player and all your buttons are on the back, but there is a main switch here in the corner, so always make sure that's not being knocked, because that'll turn it off standby. That's the master switch of the telly, and then it would just slide away like so, press the clip at the back to bring it back out, and then you've got your connections up here. So you've got 12 volt TV point and 240 volt up in the corner. So in this side, so you're adjacent to each other, you've got the shower and the toilet. So we'll start off with the toilet first. So to operate the toilet and share the pumps on, you'll be able to press this button here, which will flush the toilet. And then you'd flush it first to lubricate the blade, and then to ensure that everything does go into the cassette, you want to open the blade, which is slide this grey lever to the right. Use the toilet, flush the toilet after use, and then slide this to the left, which will isolate the blade on top of the cassette. And if you wanted to empty the cassette, you will then be able to get it out. If this was to be left open, the cassette won't come out. You'll know what you've done, and you'll have to slide it back to the left. We'll get an indicator on here by the diagram of the cassette when it is full. Above, you've got a handy storage space for your toilet rolls. And then you've got a vanity unit, toiletries, drawer for your toiletries, your light switches here, so you've got two. So you've got one for the shower, which is the one in the left hand corner furthest away from you, and the one closest to you is the one for in here. I've got a rail to hang your towels, and it's exactly the same in the shower, so I'll just do this one so you can hang your wet coats and your towels in the shower. Obviously in this one you can hang extra bits and pieces when you're travelling and towels. And then open the skylight, you've got a little clip here which says lock and unlock, so you can lock it when you're travelling. You'd unlock the lid and then use the winder, open it up for ventilation. And then you do have a fly screen and a blackout blind on them both. The door here acts as the toilet door, or it can completely black out from the front. So if you've got guests, you can have a bit of privacy. And then you do have a door here as well, so if they wanted to use the toilet and there's people sleeping in the back, you can have the bedroom door that just slides out here and straps back with a bit of velcro. So always make sure it's strapped back before you travel so it doesn't make a noise and clatter about. And then in here you've got your shower. So same skylight, same hanging rail for wet towels and coats, and then when winterizing, remove this from here, allow the hose to lie in the tray. You've got the duck board here, which is better for bearing weight, which lifts out for cleaning, and you would leave your mixer taps open. So at the back of the 777 GA, you've got two single beds, or what you can do is you can put this cushion in with this board in and make it into one large bed. But to do so, you lift it up, slide this down into here. So you need to lift the mattresses up slightly, slide that down into there. Push that down. Watch just touch on the mattresses. Slide it both back so it's down like so. Otherwise you can lift it out. Slide it up into here. The step, which is that's designed to be, will clip into here, so it's stable, and you can put the infill cushion on, or you can just keep it as it is, which is two large single beds, and use the steps, which you've got storage under here and storage under there. You'll notice you've got two gas taps, one for your fridge and one for your cooker. Any problems with gas, turn the bottle off to be safe. These are mainly for when the vehicle is habitation serviced annually to make sure the gas is working safely and to the standards of the NCC. Wardrobe with deep storage there, so it goes down to the floor level. And the same this side. Got storage cabinets for your light bits and pieces, and then you do have, if you wanted the telly to go in the bedroom, you've got a space. So you've got two 12 volts telly point and a 240 socket. So you've got one there, one up in that there, one here and one there. So there's 4 sockets throughout the vehicle, which is quite good for a Continental vehicle. Storage along the top, and then you do have these reading lights, so you just press the buttons at the end, they come on. One there, and then in that corner, so in the top right hand corner, you've got another 2 USBs for charging your devices. To drop your table, so your table does extend out over and turns, but to drop it to the floor, what you want to do is, it is manual, so you push it up, push down at the same time until it clicks in, and then you can have it down in the coffee table position if it's getting in your way, or you can have it up as a full table if you wanted to use it. And then to make the smart lounge, so the seats underneath both of these, you take the cushions off, so you don't need the smaller cushions of the two, but you do need the bigger cushions, so keep them handy. Using the black knob at the back, slide that back, pull it up. You'll notice you've got ISOFIX, so if you're carrying children, grandchildren, car seats can be compatible with the motorhome. And you've got 2 head restraints at the front, so one for the passenger side back seat and one for this seat. So clip that on the top. Which if you clip the buttons there, it will go in. Base cushion on, backrest on, through the seat belt. And then you have, down in this corner, you have your seat belt, and there you have a travelling seat, which is exactly the same on the other side of the vehicle. And then above the lounge you have your electric drop down bed, so ensuring that the key is on and turned in the front cab, the switch will work. And also when I'm here behind here, if you ever got a 12 volt failure, you can take the key out, lift this panel off, use the winding handle on top of the motor to manually wind the bed up and down. But as long as the key's on, you'll be able to use the switch here. But you will have to have the lights turned on the panel, as the French have wired it to the lights. Don't ask us why, but they just have, and they do on all of them. Same with the ignition for the cooker, you need the lights on for that to work. The bed will come down. This is as low as it will go, and then you can put the ladder on, which normally lives underneath the mattress or in the garage at the back. That will clip on here, and then you can turn these stops here to stop the ladder from moving. You've got the nets which clip onto these here and the frame, so if you're putting grandchildren, kids up there, they're not going to roll out. And like I was saying, switch on the side of the kitchen operates this light here, and then you do have storage along the back. Now in your cab, so on the right, the driver, obviously you've got your handbrake, which I've been through. You've got your electric windows. This locks the door, but when the horn indicates something's open. You've got your automatic lights and headlight adjustment, front and rear fogs, and your speedo. So this will dim the main control panel on the speedo. So should it be too bright or should it be too dark, you can brighten it when the lights are on. You've got your mirror adjustment. I've got all your phones, so this goes through the trip computer in the middle there. If I just pop it on for you, this will go through all the trips. You've got your hands-free and skip the track or radio channel. You've got your voice command, you've got your cruise control, speed limiter, and your volume. Obviously with it being an automatic. And you've got your manual, you adjust, so should you want to intervene. Mode will either give you normal or eco, and this will turn your traction control off. You've got your fan speed, your temperature, where you want the air to circulate to, your recirculating button, your aircon, your heated front windscreen, because it's with it being Ford, it's got the heated front windscreen, which is brilliant in the winter, and this turns on and off. Hazards, 12 volt, start stop, off and on, so when you put your foot on the brake with the auto, it'll automatically cut off, and then as soon as you lift off it will bring the engine back in, but you can turn that off. You'll only do that if there's sufficient charge in the battery. Locks a glove box. Obviously got 12 volt up here, which is handy for a sat nav, and a phone holder. And then you do have, with the new Accent head unit, for your navigation, should the card be in, which it's not, but it'll be in on the day of collection. You've got the radio, which you can scan for. You've got DAB, which you can scan for as well. Bluetooth, so to pair your phones, Bluetooth. So you just camera, I'll bring on the main camera at the back, but you do have all these buttons as well at the bottom. So Bluetooth, it will just need to go into settings and set the phone up for you. Set up, go in the audio settings, the TFT, which is your screen, your camera, so you can put a delay on it. You can go other, and there's obviously your volume, and then you do have your blinds, so pinch them, slide them down, pinch, slide along, they'll go behind the mirror, so you can do that on both sides, and then they just clip magnetically there, and then this one will slide down like so, and that's how you'd black the carb out. So to connect to the head unit, you would find Accent and search on your smart device, find Accent, and then press pair on here and press pair on your device, and then it will ask you if you want to sync your phone book. Press yes, so then whoever calls you will come up here and you'll be able to answer on the steering wheel or by the screen.